Yes. So from this figure, we can see, right? What is the question? At what time did photosynthesis start? It started at this point. So it started 7 years. Understood now?
Yes.
Then the next question is, at what time was rate of photosynthesis greatest? From this figure, you can say, right? Rudnil?
11.
Yes, you can see, right? At what time it is highest? This point, right? At 12. Why? Because here there is the concentration, the amount of carbon dioxide is more. Okay. Next, how does plant obtain carbon dioxide? This you all can answer, right? Through stomata. The carbon dioxide is in the surrounding. From surrounding it goes to the stomata, and from stomata the plants obtain carbon dioxide. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood, Rudnil? Navya?
Yes.
Okay. Next, what happens to this carbon dioxide? We'll learn. Okay. What happens? It reduces to carbohydrate. Okay. The next question is, what other factors could affect the rate of photosynthesis? Rudnil, you can answer this, right? Last time we studied. What are those factors? Light in
Please repeat the question.
You are not able to hear me?
No, she can internet with that. So.
Okay. What other factors could affect the rate of photosynthesis?
Water.
Water content, yes, humidity, then temperature, then light intensity, all those things. Okay. Now we'll start our the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Events in photosynthesis. First thing, I'll give you a brief account. What happens? Absorption of light by chlorophyll. Okay. Then conversion of light into chemical energy and splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. Then reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. So the process of photosynthesis, there are two processes in that. Okay. First is light dependent, which we call as photochemical phase. Okay. In this, what happens is that activation of chlorophyll. First step is activation of chlorophyll. Okay. Okay. What happens here is chlorophyll on exposure to light becomes activated. So chlorophyll plus light energy. From the sunlight we get light, right? What happens? Chlorophyll gets activated and energy is released. This photon, we get photons, electrons. Okay. This. Next, what happens? After this, next step is formation of ATP. I'll write it. How does this happen? See, this electrons we are getting from here, right? When chlorophyll is getting activated, the electrons are released, right? From this electrons, the ADP electrons are used in converting ADP into energy-rich compound, that is APP. Okay, by adding the phosphate group. This I is inorganic phosphate. Okay, what is ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Okay, and this ADP is adenosine. What will tell? Navya, can you guess? Soumya, Safiya, Safiya.
Mom, is it adenosine diphosphate?
Yes, diphosphate. Good. So what happens? The chlorophyll is getting activated, energy is released. From that energy, what happens? The ATP is converted to ATP. ATP is rich in energy. Okay. Now next, what happens? It's splitting of water or photolysis. Okay. What happens here is water is split. Water is split. Okay. Breaks down, and we get 4 hydrogen, 4 electrons, and oxygen. We get oxygen. Okay. Water splits, and we get oxygen and energy and hydrogen. Understood?
Yes.
And Safiya?
Yeah.
Understood?
Yeah.
So this, where does this occur? You know, this thing occurs in granum. Granum. We saw here, right? This place, this thylakoid. Here, this is our thylakoid. This pile of thylakoid are called granum. These all occurs here. Okay, understood? What we are getting, the product we are getting here is hydrogen, electrons, and oxygen. So what happens? There is compound called NADP, which is nicotine, amine, adenosine, dinucleotide phosphate. You don't need to memorize this. Okay, just think that there is a compound called NADP. NADP. Okay, what happens here? NADP plus this electron, and this hydrogen we are getting from here, right? From the protolysis, this NADP will pick up this hydrogen and this energy electron. Okay, what will happen? We'll get NADPH. This is the reduced form. This is a form of energy, and here also form of energy. Okay, this is chemical energy. What happened here? The light energy is getting converted into chemical energy, right? Understood? Navya?
Yes.
Safiya? Safiya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the last step, this all occurs in the light reaction. Okay. What is happening here is first there is activation. When light energy comes, the sunlight comes, chlorophyll is activated, and what happens? It gives out electrons. So from that electrons, there is formation of ATP from ADP and phosphate. Okay, inorganic phosphate. Then what happens? There is photolysis, that is splitting of water. From water we are getting hydrogen and oxygen and more electrons. Okay, so what is happening here? The oxygen will go into the atmosphere. Okay, comes out, right? Which we used to breathe, right? From which we breathe oxygen, right? So this is how the oxygen is formed. Okay. Now what happens? This NADP, it takes the electrons and the hydrogen, and it forms reduced. It is reduced to NADPH. It is form of energy. Now what happens here? The last step is the dark reaction. It is not light dependent. Okay. Here the sunlight is not required, so it is called dark reaction. Okay, understood?
Ma'am,
The last step in photosynthesis,
on which step?
the last step, which is called reduction of carbon dioxide. Okay, so here what happens? This is the dark reaction.
Can you explain step 3 again?
This step 3.
Yeah.
Okay, this is splitting of water. What happens here? There is water, right, inside the cell. Yeah. So the water is split. There is breaking of water into H plus ions, then oxygen, then electrons. Okay, understood?
Yes.
Ma'am, on which steps are light reactions and which ones are dark reactions?
This whole thing of light reaction. In the dark reaction, what happens? We have the carbon dioxide, then this NADPH, then ATP. What will it form? It will form this glucose, right? H12O6. Then this will get NADP plus ADP. You understood? So what is happening here? This carbon dioxide plus this reduced NADPH, then this ATP, what it will form? It will form glucose, carbohydrate. So this step, this formation of glucose it happens in dark reaction. Okay, here we are getting glucose, then this NADPH will get into its original form, NADP, that is oxidized form, then this ATP will go back to the ADP. Okay, this cycle keeps on repeating. Okay, understood? Rudmil,
Yes, ma'am.
understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Navya,
Yes, ma'am.
Safiya, this carbon dioxide will form the group, and glucose. Some glucose will be consumed by the plant cell immediately. The others will be stored in the form of stock. Okay, understood? Okay. Can anyone explain this? Safiya.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me what you understood.
During photosynthesis, there are two types of reactions, light and dark.
Yes.
In the first step, the light energy is absorbed by the chlorophyll and it is converted to chemical energy, and water is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen, and carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates.
So the first thing is activation. This chlorophyll will get activated and these electrons will be released. You see here, right? I'll show you. This is the structure of chlorine. Okay. So when you have learned in chemistry, right? When something like light hit and it gets excited, right? Then electron will be released. Have you learned that? No. Okay, no problem. So here also it's happening the same way. When light energy strikes the chlorophyll, here the electrons are released. Okay. from that energy, the electrons, we are getting the ATP formation. There is formation of ATP. From that, we have next we have the splitting of water. Okay, so water is split into hydrogen, then more electrons, then oxygen. Okay, so from here we have our this hydrogen, then this electron, this NADP will take in the hydrogen and the electron and will get reduced to form NADPH. So we have two kinds of energy, right? Chemical energy, this ATP and NADPH. From that, when we add to carbon dioxide, we are getting our product, that is glucose. Okay, Rudnil,
Yes, ma'am.
understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next we have adaptation in leaf. Adaptations in leaf to perform photosynthesis. Okay, the first thing, large surface area for maximum light absorption. In the certain plant, in the certain leaves, you will find that there is narrowing of the leaves. Leaves will be narrow, that is thin. Why? To minimize the transpiration. And also, if surface area is more, some plants have surface area more, the leaf surface area, there will be more, so as to maximize the light absorption. Okay, because if they have light surface area, the sunlight will come, right? More surface will be there for absorption of sunlight. Okay. Also, accordingly, there will be leaf arrangement also. How will leaf be arranged? Yeah, there is a adaptation of leaves, right? So leaves, how? What is leaf? Okay, at the right angle. Leaf arrangement at right angle to the light source. Why? To obtain maximum light. And there are sometimes there are numerous stomata. So these are the adaptation. Okay. So what are the adaptation? Large surface area for maximum light absorption, then leaf arrangement at right angle to the light source to maximum for the maximum light absorption, then numerous stomata so that there will be more coming in of the carbon dioxide. Okay, did you get me?
Yes, sir.
Next we have the opening and closing of stomata, right? The last thing in this autotrophic nutrition, plant nutrition. Okay, so the opening in a leaf there will be tiny pores. Okay, these pores are called stomata. This, okay, how does stomata look like? It is tiny pore. Okay, this is the stomatal pore. Stomata meaning is mouth. It looks like mouth, right? And this is Bart's cell, kidney-like structure, two kidney-like structure. Okay, and here we have nucleus. So the opening and closing of stomata are controlled by the guard cells. This. So if the guard cells swell up, what will happen? This stomatal pore will open, and if the guard cells shrink, this stomatal pore will be closed. Understood? This guard cell will swell, right? Why will it swell? Because water will flow into it. That's why it will swell. The same thing. What happens? When the water goes off, the guard cell shrinks. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Next, Rudnil, can you tell me what I taught today? Summarize.
Ma'am, you spoke about photosynthesis and the light reaction and the dark reaction.
Okay. Then.
And you spoke about the stomata, how it opens and closes.
Okay. Then one more thing.
Yeah, you spoke about the adaptations in the leaf.
Yes. So here we have completed our this autotrophic nutrition. Okay. So next we have the heterotrophic nutrition. In heterotrophic nutrition, what do we have? These organisms which are heterotrophic, they cannot prepare their own food. Okay. What do they do? They get their food from other organisms or from plants. Okay. See, heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In that we have three. Holozoic nutrition. First we have carnivores. I think in the lower classes you have learned about this carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, right? We come under the omnivore category because we eat both plants and animals. And this carnivores, they eat only animals, and the herbivores, they eat only plants. Okay. Then next mode is saprotrophic nutrition. In the organism feed upon the dead organic matters. So they are saprotrophic nutrition or saprotrophs. They are called saprotrophs, like mushroom, yeast, bacteria, and some mushrooms, right? They are also parasitic. You learn in the higher classes. Okay, the next is parasitic. Here, the organism, what they will do is they will get inside the body of other organisms. Okay, they are called as hosts. Okay, so they live there and they absorb nutrition from the host, from the other organism, without killing them. Okay, so what are those? Tapeworm, lice, leech, plasmodium. Understood? Vitulium? Vitulium?
Yes, ma'am.
Navya?
Yes, ma'am.
So here is the differences in autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. So in the next class, we'll go in the detail, okay, about the heterotrophic nutrition. In that we'll learn about the nutrition in the amoeba. Then after that we'll go for nutrition in animals, in human beings. Okay, everyone understood? Any doubts?
No.
Okay, thank you. Then Sapya,
Yes, ma'am.
what is the doubt, Sapya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I asked, do you have any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, Ripley?
No, ma'am.
Okay then, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.